And Andrew KP Leong, more than the joint declaration, that itself has been a big achievement. Had the joint declaration not been adopted, that would have been the headline. So that's a big relief. But more than that, this new economic corridor that's been announced with India, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, France, Germany, and Italy, and the European Union, and of course the United States, that is a direct challenge to the Belt and Road Initiative. How would this be read in Beijing?
Well, of course, that the Beijing is well aware, or the whole world is well aware, that there is a kind of rivalry between the United States and China, and to a certain extent between India and China as well. So that's well understood. But as far as this new infrastructural linkage is concerned, China always embraces connectivity, as in fact is the most connected countries in the world. That's the reason why China is the largest trading partner for 158 countries around the world, compared with only 57 for the United States. And China is embedded in the global supply and value chain very deeply. So the more the world is connected, the better. The ultimate taste of this new project is that how much trade would India generate, compared with China. China, after all, is multiple times the trade volume and the range of products and the manufacturing powerhouse of almost everything under the sun. So I don't think that Beijing is worried about it. I don't think that Beijing would feel slighted about this, and in fact, Beijing is represented in the G20 through the prime minister, and of course the prime minister.
But Mr. Leong, this is coming exactly 10 years since Xi Jinping announced this, the Belt and Road Initiative, the new Maritime Silk Route and the new Silk Road and so on. Exactly 10 years after that, and we have seen the kind of negative impact that the BRI has in countries in Africa and Latin America, even smaller countries in Asia, the kind of debt, almost unburdenable debt that they have put in. Beijing had a problem even coming into this G20 talking about debt restructuring. That has figured its place there as well. But the fact that these big economies, the fact that Saudi Arabia and the UAE, India, the United States, France, Germany, and Italy are all coming together, does that not send out a signal to even the smaller countries that you're not dependent on China anymore for infrastructure funding?
I think that the Global South does not want to be beholden to any particular country, not either the United States or India or China. All they want is to regain their sovereignty and their self-determination according to their own political situation and historical and cultural and geographical situation. And no one wants to be forced to choose a model which doesn't suit the realities on the ground. So I think that the developing world welcomes this additional initiative. But as I said, the taste of the pudding must be in the eating, as to how much trade could be generated by linking India together with the Europe. Of course, the more linkage could also benefit China. And in fact, I'm sure.
I also want to bring in Yoshihide Nakayama, who is the former Minister of State for Defense of the government of Japan. Japan, while not being part of this new economic corridor, do you get a sense, Mr. Nakayama, that you have the Quad, which is Japan, Australia, US, and India. Now you have this economic corridor all the way from India through the Middle East into Europe. And China, Xi Jinping, was not present in the room today while all these significant announcements were being made. In fact, the Prime Minister of Japan also spoke about this corridor. Japan, of course, has the G7 presidency. Do you think finally the countries of the West, the countries who believe in open and free trade, in keeping sea lanes free, the countries that are opposed to hegemonic behavior, are finally getting their act together with these multiple multilateral sort of arrangements, from Quad to AUKUS to now this economic corridor, in a way, without saying that China is the target, but I think it's obvious to everybody that this is a way to try and counter China. And they realize they can't do it individually, they can't do it on their own individually, but if they come together, if they pool their resources together, China will not be able to match.
Yes, First of all, thank you very much for inviting me and this great program. And I really respect that India led the world now. I believe that Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin missing the opportunity at the G20 summit extends the time it will take to achieve peace. In other words, by not attending the summit, China and Russia continue to foster an atmosphere of instability in the world. From a Japanese perspective, this could also mean that the likelihood of a crisis in the Taiwan Strait, located to our south, is increasingly. Moreover, it is a fact that the military collaborations between China and Russia are increasingly visible in Japan's region. I think it's important not to encourage actions that could provoke war.